in the game, don't play with my name. You come with your goons, I'm bringing my game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. You hear the crowd, they screaming my name. I got the stadium going insane. Done with the talking, it ain't no discussion. You started, I finished, put me in the game. Put me in the game. Yeah, put me in the game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. Hey coach, put me in the game.
You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. Yeah, I jump out the booth. Then I might hop through the roof. Count on the rings, stuff. My team is the truth, but they some liars to you. And they never sing, but they always shoot. And all of their diamonds are new. And that's why I'm here with villain, cause I really get it. And I need all my honeys in blue. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. Make a choice. I need 100 pack for my boys. Deep be hating and talking and hating. I bet you I kill the noise. I've been a man like I'm painting. I boost up my rating. You know how I play with toys. Pop out on any occasion, get standing ovations. They can't help it but rejoice. They all wanna follow me, cause I got my foot on the opposition neck and ain't no apologies. 100 yards, you know I own all the property. Daddy's home, you know I own all the property. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose.
Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. Kenny Nwagu now out of his end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Take over first down and 10 at their own 23-yard line. They start the drive with Cook. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They run it again with Cook. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he will finally be wrestled down at the Lions' 23-yard line. 54 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They had trouble stopping the run last week in a loss, and here it rears its ugly head early.
You're supposed to try and get your confidence going after a loss like that where you gave up big yards running the football. This is not the way to go about it. It looks exactly as it did just a week ago.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Boy, no problems getting down the field here on this opening drive. They've looked really sharp in the early going, and they've come up with some big plays already. Here's another. That's going to set up 1st and goal.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. And they'll run it. This is James Robinson. And he's going to be stopped here on this first play as he gets it to the line of scrimmage and no more. Tackle there by Lewis Seen. This defense for the Vikings, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Now back to throw. The throw for Claypool is intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it in.
They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Picked off by Amani Oruwariye. And the Lions are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw something away on that snap. And let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder, this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away and could cost them a ball game?
To start it out, Robinson. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
But from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because they only picked up 3 yards. Let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
That one, a first down pickup of 8. The Lions had 0-1 in the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were up for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right. And I like the way that you presented that because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine. They go play action here on first down. On the move to his left. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open?
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And some room to maneuver. Touchdown, Vikings! Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. And he powers his way past the 30.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline or from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them.
And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked off by Lewis Seen. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all 3 phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick 6.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the second quarter.
21, Lions, nothing.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves them with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
A gain of 5 brings up 3rd and 6.
21-0 our score after 1.
Score, Vikings 21, Lions nothing.
Here we go, check.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. This is and now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. A lot of talk this week about ball security. In fact, they added an extra period in practice to be more secure with the ball. It didn't work out there.
Well, sometimes you just get overexcited during the game. You may all of a sudden make your catch, see some open field, and decide you're going for it. And not realizing the danger lurks while you're doing so. And there's your end result right there.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
At the 47-yard line.
Up the middle, it's Cook. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. 93 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. From the gun on third down. McKee, he lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can chip.
There goes Melvin Gordon. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10, 5, touchdown, Detroit. Melvin Gordon, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Lions are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Maybe that is the boost that this offense needed.
They've done nothing the entire half, but out of the blue comes this big shot here. You're exactly right. Like a dunk in basketball, like a home run in baseball, maybe a solo shot. Sometimes you need that big play to get things ignited.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and that'll cut the lead to 21-7.
Makes the score Vikings 21, Lions 7. Jeff Fox to pick off for the Lions.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
He did a fine job there not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll try the middle with Cook, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
And that's what I like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. They did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And the Lions are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
I believe this is what you would call growing pains here, Parker, because this defense obviously took the challenge facing the rookie, and they wanted to help indoctrinate him to the NFL. So now the big question is, can he answer that challenge and rebound with plenty of time remaining?
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season.
He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Now he dumps this off over the middle, and they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. A nice throw right there. And, Charles, this is game number 2 in the NFL for this young rookie. His guys getting the victory last week, and he played pretty well by most accounts. Curious, what did you see?
I saw something similar to what you described, Brandon, because I saw a guy who looked the part, a guy who was in command, not just with the touchdown passes, but definitely looked to be in control of the offense as well. And you have both.
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. 32 yards. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Looking to throw. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And he is going to have the Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's good for the Lions. First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Here's a give up the middle. It's Gordon. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the 2nd quarter.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. And some room to work. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 127 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing Jones. Rolling to his left. Complete. It's Johnson. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Another nice gain. 13 yards that time and another first down.
And I feel a little bit like a traitor as a former defender, because that big man did not want to go down and refused to go down. If you're a defender and you don't get the right angle on a big tight end like him, he can run right through you like you're not even there, and he did a lot of that on that play.
A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handed out.
And my goodness, another interception. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Now the try here for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead.
Vikings 35, Lions 7.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And here comes a return from a few steps in. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
Now, that's the way you want to start a drive. Talk about a tone setter as well as a playbook opener. Now, if you want to take a big shot over the top, you're all positioned to do so.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the 1st down. A nice run right there.
They'll run with Cook, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
It's a loss of 1. Brings up 2nd and goal.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. It'll be Lions football to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
And that is incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD. And now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory.
On 2nd down, it's Cook again. They find some open field here. And he will finally be wrestled down at the Lions' 38-yard line. 119 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Last play went for over 30 yards. This one not quite as big, but still over 20. You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They run the counter with Cook, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. Well, backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. 3rd down, Dalvin Cook, and they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So this drive maybe didn't end with the same kind of success they had in the first half, but they do add 3 to their lead.
And defensively, I think they went in there at halftime and made a pact with each other and said, look, we can't let these guys keep driving it right down our throats. Not perfect giving up 3, but a much better start than the way they played in the first half.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one.
And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Running right through him. And the Vikings will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook with career touchdown number 75. And the Vikings have got it on cruise control. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 38. They'll start the drive here with an end around. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. He lost 6 there on the first down play. Tough spot looking at 2nd and 16 here after the big loss. Cook up the gut. There's the stiff arm. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It's a 6-yard pickup to get him back to the original line of scrimmage with 3rd down coming up. Right where this set him down started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. third down. Here's a run by Cook. A pretty good effort there, 9 yards, but not enough. We'll likely see the punt team now on fourth down. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Vikings send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the second time. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Quick slant finding Claypool. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. And leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So first and 10 now from the 30. On first and 10, it's Robinson. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So that changes things a bit. Here's a first and 10 all the way down at the 35. They'll give it to Gordon out of the shotgun. And he can only manage to get a couple. Second and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them. And boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Throwing on second and 8. Jones. He's got a man. It's his fullback. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
And Gordon's going to be stopped short. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play. And that's going to lead him to fourth down. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't it?
Desperation time now. Here's Jones. He's got a man open. It's Chase Claypool. And he is going to have the Lions first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. So this drive going to continue following the conversion on fourth. Here's first and 10. Now they run from the gun with Gordon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On second and 11 now. Jones sets up the screen to Gordon. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's third down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out.
Oh, Jones has just thrown his third interception. And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
60 Vikings, 60 Vikings.
Second down, they go right back to Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. Third down and 9. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
The Vikings send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Running right, it's a handoff to Gordon. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
That's a gain of 7. Brings up 3rd and 3.
Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved. Now after the false start, they need 8 yards here on 3rd down. Now Jones.
He's got this complete to Williams.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd.
Good for the Lions.
Looking to throw. Jones. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
So the incomplete pass there, but the roughing the passer call bails them out.
Which means you have to stay on the field on defense longer because you've given the offense free snaps, not to mention the free yardage after that mistake.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jones. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And his kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Minnesota, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they'll return home next week to take on the LA Rams. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco.
Yeah. You're in the presence of the realest essence. I've been serving lessons since the days of my adolescence. On the Cypress block, young buck holding the like we knew it all. Not afraid to do it all. Matter of fact, to look back and do it all. I can remember the haters say the game will ruin y'all. What's that to me? Don't give about a hater. Let them like the in my paper.
They call me Big Dog, riding with the hillbillies. Q-Bone staying with the lick. Really became a boss many years back. When I'm gone, can be pull your tears back. We put the bang and produce. You got no chance of hanging. They take the tails when you're flipping the quarter. We ain't slowing down, we crashing through the border.
So let the rhythm hit him, just let the rhythm hit him. Cause when you feel it in your soul, it's the sound system. Let's turn it up, a little louder, turn it up, a little louder, turn it up. We never turn it down, use the